Welcome friends on our YouTube channel DJ English Academy. Today we are going to discuss the second part of the English literature, that is inventions in English language. Already we have studied some points in the part 1. So now we are going to study the part 2, in which some important points we are going to be discussed, so it will be helpful for us to understand the English language very well. The important points which will be increase our knowledge, as well as it will create the interest about the English language and in English literature. So I hope you liked the first part of this topic. Today the second part that we are going to study now. So I hope this part also will be like. Before going to see what is exactly the second part, I request all my friends, those like to subscribe the channel, so please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. Because of that you will get the notifications of upcoming videos, and as well as if you subscribe our channel, so definitely I will get the inspiration for preparing the new and more videos for you. So let's go, we will see the second part of this topic. The first question is that who wrote ABCD? That is the Charles Bradley. This person has written the ABCD, means A to Z alphabets. The ABC song was first copyright under the title and the schoolmaster in 1834 by an American man named Charles Bradley. He was a schoolmaster or the teacher in the period of the 1834, and the alphabets he has given a new way, new shape, new tone to it. So he displayed exactly the ways of writing and alphabets. Second is, why was the alphabet created? If we create something, so there is a purpose behind it. So today also we will see what is exactly the reason for creating such kind of the alphabets. Alphabet as a parent company. Parent company. Why it is called the parent company? Because it allows us to understand the different kind of the languages. Allowed Google to more easily and logically expand into domains outside of internet search and advertising to become a technology conglomerate. So this is like a company for us, alphabets. Alphabets are helping us, supporting us to get new things through online, through Google, or through different sources. So that's why we need the alphabet. Who decided on the order of the alphabet? The Greeks borrowed Phoenician alphabet sometimes in the 8th century BC or earlier, keeping the order and adapting it for use with their own language. That's why the order has placed. Who invented ABCD? Means A to Z. These are all the letters. So that will be here. The Glagolitic alphabet is believed to have been created by Saint Cyril and Methodius, while the Cyrillic alphabet was invented by the Clement of Ohrid, who was their disciple, and these peoples have created such kind of the alphabets. At the beginning, the peoples were expressing their thoughts, their emotions through the very, what we say, expressions. But after that, they invented different kind of the letters and they designed that, and they had given such a title or names to it. And because of that, the design which is curved there, so that is called A, B, C, D, like that. Means every word has a specific history through which we can understand how each letter has discovered. Who was the first person to make words? Sumerian was the first person. The general consensus is that Sumerian was the first written language. It was developed in southern Mesopotamia around 3400 or 3500 BCE. At first, the Sumerians would make small tokens out of the clay, representing goods that they were trading. So the goods were helping them. Later, they began to write these symbols on clay tablets, and through there they invented the process of writing, through which they invented the words, and then they generated the meaning of such a words here. What is the longest word in the world? You can see here, it is not possible to read at once if you try. So we have to be concentrate over it and then we should read. So you manage how to read such a word. This is the word or the longest word in the world. The longest word in any of the major English language dictionaries is such kind of the word. A word that refers to a lung disease contracted from the inhalation of a very fine silica particles, specifically from a volcano. Medically, it is the same as a silicosis. So such kind of the longest word which is related to the medicine or the medical field. Which language has the most letters? So Cambodian is such a language which has more letters. That will be C. More means how many? The Khmer, that is the name of such a word or the alphabet. The Cambodian alphabet, which has the longest with the 74 letters, are in such a word or the letters. So the Cambodian is such kind of the language which language has a 74 letters as a English language has 26 letters. Who is the father of the Indian English language or the literature? Thomas Babington, the person who is the father of Indian English. The English language owes a great debt to Shakespeare. He invented over 1700 of the common words. So these words will be helpful to understand exactly how they adding such kind of the prefixes, suffixes. So that will be helpful for us. What is the prettiest written language? And the answer is the Arabic is the prettiest written language. Arabic, the most beautiful written language. We can see here the picture how each letter has a shape, style, a variation. So these words attracts, or these words such attract us towards it, and we can see how they are beautiful. That's why the Arabic is the prettiest written language. Is English a Latin based language? It means the English language has based on Latin, or it is taken from the Latin, it is generated from the Latin, or it is originated from the Latin, or how? So that will be here. Unsourced material means we don't have a specific evidence or the sources through which we can be believe that the English is a Latin based language. But unsourced material may be challenged and removed. English is a Germanic language. Already we have seen the Germanian peoples, they brought such kind of the language with a grammar and co-vocabulary inherited from the Proto-Germanic. The influence of Latin in English, therefore, is primarily lexical in nature, being confined mainly the words derived from the Latin roots. Latin is such Greek and Latin is the such old language through which the words have derived in English. Each word, the base of each word of English language has a Latin. Through the Latin language, through the Latin literature, such words have derived in English language. Which language has less letters? Rotokas is such a language which has less letters. Language with the shortest alphabet, Rotokas. It has only 12 letters. Approximately 4300 years ago, people speak this East Papuan language. They live primarily in the Bougainville province of Papua New Guinea. So there such kind of the language has developed. What is the first language in the world? Means when the world has discovered, when the Hindu civilization or the Sindhu civilization was discovered. So at the beginning, the Dravidian peoples were using such kind of the language, and that is the Tamil language. The Tamil language is the first language in the world. After that comes the Chin language or the Chinese language. Which is the oldest language in the world? As I told now, the Chinese is such kind of the language which is the oldest. Chinese is the single most spoken language in the world today, with around 1.2 billion people which consider it their first language. The written origins of the language have been traced back to 1250 BC in the late Shang dynasty. Along with the Tamil, Chinese is one of the oldest surviving language in the world. So the Tamil and Chinese are the most old languages before the English language. Who made the first poem in English literature? So Gilgamesh is the name of the person who made such kind of the first poem. The author of the first poem is unknown exactly, but however, the epic of the Gilgamesh is considered to be the first poem. And beside the epic, the Rigvedas of Hinduism and the Song of the Weaver from the Egypt are among the first poems ever. That's why the epic of Gilgamesh is considered as the first poem. Who is the founder of English poetry? Geoffrey Chaucer is the founder of English poetry. Geoffrey Chaucer, the period was given 1340s to 25 October 1400. He was an English poet and author, widely considered the greatest English poet of the Middle Ages. He is best known for the Canterbury tells he has been called the father of English literature or alternatively the father of English poetry, and that's why he invented such kind of the poetry. What is the oldest poem in English? Beowulf is such kind of the oldest poem. Beowulf is the oldest surviving Germanic epic and the longest Old English poem. It was likely composed between 700 and 750. Other great works of Old English poetry include The Wanderer, The Seafarer, The Battle of Maldon, and The Dream of the Rood. So these are the other names of such kind of the oldest poems in English literature. What is the first poem in the world that we see? That is the Epic of the Gilgamesh. The beginning of the world's first truly great work of literature, the 400 years old Mesopotamian epic of the Gilgamesh, the poem on which the story of Noah and the flood was probably based. It has been discovered in a British museum storeroom where we can see such kind of the poem, that is the Epic of Gilgamesh. Which is the longest poem in English literature? So my Blaha story is such kind of the longest poem in English literature. The longest single author poem in English is reputed to be My Blaha Story by the US writer Nigel Tom, which stretches to 23,161 lines. The early English epic poem Beowulf comes to just over 3,000 lines, while the Samuel Taylor's The Coleridge's The Rime of the Ancient Mariner runs to 625 lines. That's why my Blaha story is a such kind of the longest poem, which has 23,161 lines. Who are the famous English poets? So we can see here W.B. Yeats, then Sylvia Plath, Shakespeare, Rudyard Kipling, Robert Burns, Oscar Wilde, John Milton. So these are the different John Keats. So these are the famous English poets. So in this way, this is the second part in which we study some of the remaining points. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this helped you to increase your knowledge. So again we are going to see the next part in which we can understand what is exactly the English language. So I am coming with a third part of this story or this topic very soon. So thank you so much for joining with me.